pickle.
Are we gonna know? We're live.
We're live. I
Here
think
we are.
we look pretty crisp.
We look crisp and happy.
Dude.
It's a new streaming software this morning.
We look sharp, man. I think it looks good.
Our pickles are swollen. They're ready.
Swole.
It didn't take long to mention.
You
Don't
like
worry.
that?
We've been reading the comments already.
You like that pickle, boy?
I wanted Derek to have a picture of it ready, plaster on the screen as soon as we went live, but
Oh, jeez.
I got vetoed.
How long before they talk about their pickle? Right now, son.
Right now, bam! Here we are. Sean's sitting here
been-
playing his Strat, playing Andy Summers things.
Yeah.
I hope everyone's good.
Bam.
Man, I like when I see, like, right in the beginning, we got people from Canada, we got people from Nashville,
Is the audio
Dallas,
low?
Georgia. Everybody's everywhere. And it makes me happy. It makes me happy.
My audio might be specifically lower because I've been sick all this past weekend into the week and stuff. So I, that could just be a me thing. Mayor McCheese.
He is very.
Yeah, I'm kind of like right here.
But you've kept going. No stopping
Hey.
for this man.
You know what they say?
No rest for the
You
weary.
can't stop a train. That one's for Dylan.
Yeah, Daniel says low audio. I don't know if that's just Sean. Okay, both mics are super low. There you go.
Ned said, what?
What? Speak up, son.
Well, Ned,
My
tell me.
tinnitus is out of control today. Nah. The Mighty Woodrow.
You might have seen the Mighty Woodrow in person in our video this past week of the Slash 100 model. It's pretty dope. Pretty dope. He killed it. He looked hot and handsome.
That was. Ned says I got Johnny in my right ear and Sean in my left. It's amazing.
This is just
Just like it
between me and you, Ned.
What would be really funny
I
is if
love
they
you.
were opposite. That
I
would,
love
that
you,
would be a
boy.
little insane. Like when you look at it,
Oh,
they were
yeah.
in the wrong ear. You know what I mean? Like catty corner. So the Slash amp was really impressive. We're gonna get to
Yes.
Big Muffs.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
No,
Get there.
it was. That was like
Um,
nutty, man.
We didn't pull it out or play it at all until we got to the Neon Rooster that night. So we opened it, saw it.
Wow.
And we said all this in the video, so I don't know why we're
But I mean, it was
saying it again.
good. It was good. I mean, it's worth saying again, I think, because that was like, damn.
And
And we got number 59, dude.
what was the comment on the video?
Oh, let's just call a spade a spade. If you got kids in the room, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds to tell them to cover their ears.
3, 2, 1.
He's a jackass. All right.
You can say that in front of it.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
I know some people are weird. I'm like, all right, well there you go.
That's an animal. It's fine.
So this
He's a
dude,
donkey.
He I forgot exactly what the comment was, but he was like, "This is for chumps. Only chumps would fall for this. Oh my God! If you're a guitar player, no one should play this. All this BS, right?"
Basically, he said that none of your heroes
Yes.
played like gear branded with their. Well, right, because most of our heroes were playing with like that first generation of
Yeah.
gear, and it's not even a bad point, right? Like, do you need a Slash amp to go have great tone? No. You don't even necessarily need like a boutique amp. We talk about that all the time, right?
Yeah.
But why call them something like that? And it's just fun, and we're all like nerding out over gear and this cool thing.
Yeah.
Why be a downer?
Yes. Well, and it's like,
Especially when it'd be different if we were like, you have to buy this. It's the greatest ever. It's the only thing that'll make you sound, halfway decent. That would be different.
It's kind of like have a little bit of awareness about you. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, really? Like, obviously, like this is something for fans of Slash for the most part, and then it's also for people who are fans of guitar. And I'm sure the Mighty Woodrow on here would go to back us up on this. It's just dope to play stuff like that too. Like he had a great time. You know what I mean? It was so did we.
Yeah, because he got to jam on that.
It's just
the Slash
fun,
335, the Slash double neck was pretty cool.
I mean, all that
it was
stuff.
just fun. I mean, it absolutely, it's like over the top.
Yes. Well, and here's the thing too, though. Like us as working gigging musicians,
Yeah.
are we? And I'll say usually because we've been lucky enough to actually be able to play some of those on stage before. Are we ever really going to play those on stage whenever we're out gigging? No. because also, you know, we don't have that kind of money to spend on that stuff. But the chances that you do get to play it, it's just fun. And I bet if that guy was in the room and he got the chance to play it, he wouldn't be like, no, I don't want to. It's like, no, it's dope, dude. Like, seriously.
Well, I mean, and
it's sick.
you could pare that down to like, we both probably have some gear that a lot of people would say, oh, don't play on gigs, or that is a little over the top, and it's just.
Yeah.
We work. I've worked in music shops forever, and so I have cool gear.
Yeah, well, it's like, you know,
That's
exactly.
probably a step above what I actually should probably have, but it's okay.
It's cultivated. It's like you said the other week. It's like 20 years of collecting things, you know, and using stuff for like
And
utilitarian reasons. Yeah.
I was talking to I don't know if Ryan Walker's ever on here. That dude's awesome. He does a lot of cool metal kind of like compositions. He's a killer player, but he loves like old rock and blues as well. And we talk about gear a lot. He's also like a trainer and is all jacked up. Super cool dude. But we were talking about guitars, and he had done some trades. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Are you looking at anything new?" And I was like, "Man, the problem with like loving all your gear is you've lost your sort of trade bait. Like I feel like I have no trade bait for anything right now. Do you know what I mean? Because if you got something that you can trade, you could kind of will yourself into, well, it would only be this, and I'll sell this too. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like I've been at a point lately where I don't really have a lot of like, especially guitars and amps, right? Like I mean, you know.
Well, and I feel like
pedals and stuff's different,
you're heavily tied to your stuff right now too. Like like the Falcon is a special thing. You know, the 335 is a special thing. Your Red Telly's been special, obviously. The Strat you have is special. So you don't really have any guitars that I can think of that are like dumpers. You know.
Nah, they're all kind of keepers of this.
They are. So. That's right. It's ridiculous, ain't it?
Like the old Big Muff variant. The way he
swollen pickle, baby.
Okay, all right. I know Mayor McCheese is on here. Mayor McCheese started telling us, when was it? 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think it was before the last live stream.
2 weeks ago or so that he got a swollen pickle. And he sent us this video about the little internal trim pots. Yeah. Now, the first cool pedals I ever had were like you know, good, decent pedals. I mean, I probably had like a Boss flanger or something before that, but otherwise they were like kind of cheaper Dan Electro or like weird Zoom multi-effects. But the first cool, like probably really good single pedals I got that I really remember were Way Huge stuff. And the first one was Octopus. And so I got into Way Huge stuff, and then over the years I've traded all the way except the Octopus. But then lately I've been on a kick. Sean, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to play some of those pedals. I'm going to unboutique myself a bit. And then Mayor McCheese sends us the thing about the swollen pickle. So it seemed like the universe all colluding.
That's right.
So anyways, I ordered one. And I've always stayed away from the Big Muff because when you hear clips, for the most part online, it's like the shoegaze, like doom, like the, you know what I mean? Kind of, not the fuzz I would gravitate towards. And I never can find a good fuzz that I feel like I really want to keep, you know, or like use. But man, when you turn those trim pots to the right, I wish I had bought the swollen pickle a long time ago.
So he's talking about internal trim pots on this pedal.
That's right.
And there's two of them, and I believe Mayor McCheese says they're set basically all the way one way. And if you take them and you can fine tune them to your taste, but if you go all the way the other way, he said it gets pretty cool.
The way I like it is pretty much all the way to the right, and I dialed them back slightly because now I think from what I have sussed out, the factory setting used to be all the way to the left. Oddly enough, when I got mine, there's a sticker on the inside telling you the factory settings. The factory setting on mine and on the sticker was all the way to the right. So maybe they realized, hey, people dig this all the way to the right, because I've tried one before in like a shop and messing around, and I'm assuming those trim pots were turned the opposite way. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
But as soon as I turned this one on, dude, I was like, oh, that's good. And
cool,
some of that is you hype things up in your mind when you get them, right? We'll see in, 3 or 4 weeks if I'm still like, oh, man.
I mean, I think you're right on the money with that. I would need to mess around with it. You brought your board today, and I think, too, the idea of venturing through mini Big Muffs, because so last night I was up at 1:50 in the morning because I've been sick and I just like cough myself to sleep every night, and I saw somebody post about getting a Big Muff Deluxe, like one of the old school ones that is like mint, and it looked dope. So I feel like we're about to be on a a hunt to play the Muff.
A quest, a Muff quest.
A Muff quest, if you will.
Well, we might be going. I got a gig in. Let's see. I've got a couple gigs coming up. They're like way western Tennessee, and then like Missouri.
Yep.
So we were saying Sean may ride with me in one of those, and we'll hit a bunch of guitar centers and play as many big Muffs as we can find.
Dude, I
We'll
mean,
scour the used sections and see what they got new.
I mean, it's just fun though, right? Like big Muffs rip. And there's a lot. The thing is not only have there been a lot of big Muffs in the course of like 60 years, there's been a lot of big Muffs over the course of like what they have out right now. Like they're new big Muffs. Like there's signature models. There's new damn iterations of old things too, which I feel like probably sounds slightly different.
We're already talking about cranking hogs on here.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's Genera. It's good. It's great. Well, so like, I don't know. For the most part, for most of my playing life, I've kind of stayed away from the idea of big Muff, right? Because it's a very particular tone.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more versatile than I gave it credit for.
Man, I mean, I think they are. I think, you know, I won't say this person's name, but they told me early on I got that 78 Big Muff.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, there's only one really good tone, and they turned the tone knob all the way back. And that was it. You know, and they were like, and that's the only good tone in a Big Muff. And I believed that for a while,
They said,
which
well,
sucks,
there's only one really
because
good tone,
then I started to
and they
mess
turned the
around
tone
with
knob
it,
all the
and
way
I was
back.
like, oh damn, this
Now,
thing's got
you
some
know, and they were
versatility.
like,
It
and
took me a while
that's the
to
only good
actually
tone
do
in a
that.
Big Muff.
So, and I believed that for a while,
you
which
should
sucks,
definitely always
because
tweak
then
the
I
muff,
started to
dude.
mess around with it, and I
Tweak
finger
the
your
muff.
muff.
They're seeing some a lot of chatter in the
So,
comments about how people are using this.
yeah.
Liam apparently just built a double muff, less muff, and more muff.
They're seeing
some
I
lot of
think
chatter in the. I think the way I found mine, the way I've enjoyed, is putting overdrive before it.
Yep.
Hitting it with the overdrive. Surprisingly, I thought that I would end up pulling my compressor off my board.
Yeah.
But the way huge one at least works pretty well. With
Well,
the
that Red Llama.
No, well, I've
What?
got the exotic, the SP compressor
Yeah.
that I thought would not work very well with it, but it actually is okay. So you know, so it'll be fun when we're trying out all the different ones, see what works and doesn't work. I wish it almost would be cool if we had another handful of pedals to like throw down with it to see
Yeah.
how they interact.
What I needed, I got an extra pedal board at my house with a power supply on it.
Mm-hmm.
What I think we do, at some point, we'll try and do a Muffathon video where we actually play through them. You know, I feel like today our Muffathon is more so talking about the different kinds of muff. You know, but we'll get to that later on and try overdrive before it, overdrive after it, wah before it, wah after it. You know, stuff like that. Now let me ask you this. What's the one big muff you would like to try out of any? Because I want to try the Ram's Head. I've never.
The Ram's Head would be a lot of
OG,
fun.
you know.
The Ram's Head would be cool. I honestly, I don't know. I don't know enough about them that I like have a strong opinion.
I mean, the first few versions are cool.
Right.
You know, that Big Muff Deluxe I was talking about, what's cool about it is it's in the, it kind of looks like it's in the Memory Man enclosure, you know, so it's a wider pedal. If you haven't seen one of those, and then it's got like a Spectrum thing on the side,
cool.
and then they added some cool stuff. So
Pretty neat. Liam says he was looking at the Way Huge Fat Sandwich, living near Rutgers, and Are You Hungry? Home of the Fat Sandwich feels like a birthright. I had that pedal, and actually it was very cool. It's like a distortion, like a hard clipping, almost kind of like Radish kind of thing, just with lots more controls. Yeah, dude, buy one if you can find it. I think our buddy Joel is sending me a pork loin. So I wanted to find a pork loin. That's probably my favorite one of all time, and you can't it's like the fat sandwich discontinued. I'd like to find a fat sandwich at this point. At some point I'll acquire. Not find. There's plenty of them online. I'd like to acquire a fat sandwich at some point, and then the last one that would make me feel happy about my Way Huge collection, the Angry Troll.
I haven't even heard of that one.
It is a boost, right? Pretty linear, but it's got these little fists that get bigger, and you turn in the fist of anger. So how angry you want your troll to be. That's why these pedals are so much fun. And then it gets dirtier, you know?
I
So
like that.
no fists, it's just a straight up clean boost.
Yeah.
And then you can add in anger, which seems great. those are just for fun, just to have the friggin' the pedals. And then I think the Blue Hippo, the chorus one is pretty cool.
I need a chorus pedal.
So maybe that's one to look at. Someone said, let's see.
Is it time to buy a Mesa Boogie before Gibson buys them? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Gibson owns them.
They already own them.
Too late.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, I think they got rid of the guy, what's his name? The Randall guy that was supposed to be there, kind of overseeing it, right?
Yeah. What I will say is, we were at the garage and we played them, and I was impressed. I like these more than I've liked any other Mesa Boogie.
Well, at the garage, they tend to have the Fillmore, right? Which is one of my favorite Mesa models, and that what is it called? That like California Tweed or something like that.
And then I think they had a couple like Mark V things, but I don't really like those. That's not my jam.
That's not my. And it's not they're bad. They're just not my. They're just not our thing so much. I think we both are pretty aligned on that. But like I really like that Fillmore, and I really like the Tweed one. And the ones we played were all Gibson since Gibson's acquired them. And I know, not to open the can of worms, I liked the little Mesa built Falcons.
Those were good too.
I don't know. I mean, obviously you can argue about how they're built, but sound-wise, I thought they were really cool.
I want to touch on something that Joe said. Joe said, I bought one when they first came out, Big Muff, and wasn't impressed. 1978 ? Joe, if you're asking if that is the year that they came out, that is the year that the version 4 came out. Well, close to that. It was roughly in that time frame. The original one came out in, I believe, 68, 69, and that was the Ram's Head one, and then progressed from there.
Yeah.
So
There you
just to let you know, in case you may be confused on that.
Let's see. I got to go. So I saw a comment I got to say. Someone said that they enjoyed the lesson that I did. And thank you. I appreciate that. It was Jose. And they're definitely, I was using the Tone Master. It was definitely more distorted when I was playing the little rhythm loop after I heard it back. So next time I'll check that and I'll do better. But yeah, no, I am planning to do more. I'm thinking about doing one of those a week. I've actually got a cool one in mind for today, and hopefully we get around to shooting it, but I believe we will. So yeah, I'll keep those coming. It's good. That's good feedback though, because it's always nice to know if you guys enjoy that stuff or not.
Two, I feel like you do a good job of not doing what a lot of people do. I love Rick Beato, love his videos and all that good stuff, but sometimes whenever I see these lesson videos, it's like these guys add an obnoxious amount of like shimmery reverb behind everything, and I'm like,
I just
don't need that.
The best thing.
Like, why are we doing
it's
that?
become a meme, obviously, but like when Rick is like, quick lesson.
And all you hear,
you just play the A minor diminished, major minor ultra 7 triad over this, and then it's awesome, but maybe not always.
Well,
it's maybe hard to pick up, right?
Absolutely. And then the other thing being the what was it? The guy that I sent you the other day. There's this dude on Instagram who he must have paid an ass load of money in ads. But that reverb, I cannot stand.
Jeffrey Cundy guy.
Yeah.
This the chord thing over. No, do you know who he is?
He plays for like Hillsong or something like that.
One of those church like worship bands. Now his books are all about. Seems to me like they're all about like chord versions, right? Like how to, And that was actually one of the lesson ideas that Derek and I talked about. But if I do one of those, I want to do it really well. So maybe that's for the next couple weeks. But I'm sure the book is probably cool.
Yeah.
And I think he's probably organized it. But I mean, all the info in it is out there. And I mean, there's a what's that guy's name? The kind of bigger guy that like plays so like soulful, and he always plays a Tellier 335. Jack Rook, is that his name? You follow him?
Sure. I don't know.
He just put out a killer video about triads that he thinks about them the same way I do. And then there's a good Tim Pierce one that just came out.
Well, and this guy,
same idea,
This guy too that we're talking about, he has it's not even like the chords that he's showing me that I feel like is bad. I mean, I know the majority of them, it's just more so the tone of that like reverb on the back, and I'm like, damn, dude, like I don't know if we need that for a
Just
lesson.
all that, well,
you know? Like, it's
what do you
like
mean?
whenever you practice, you know, they say don't use reverb because it covers up some of the mistakes. You know?
Sometimes it's nice to practice like horribly. It's not as fun, right? 'Cause
No,
when you
it's
play,
nowhere
just
near
like,
as fun.
"Ugh,"
Yeah,
and it doesn't sound
you
good.
hate it. You know.
But it is probably not a bad idea. No, you got the Beato books, right? You got the whole bundle.
I got the book. I got the quick lesson package, which is cool. So those videos that he does on Instagram, where it's like, oh, quick lesson, and he plays that. Those are actually snippets from
Of
this
that,
series.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that until it was on sale for 4th of July, and I was like, well, I'll buy it and check it out. And I got it, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. It's nice because I can kind of like just take the thought process that he's on away from it, and like he'll show how he's playing over something, you know. And like you said, it's usually something that's like way out there. It's big, heady, in a good way, out there stuff. And I'll just take something from it to kind of gleam and like work on.
I think when you see lessons like that from a guy like that who is obviously very intelligent, like as far as the language of music, you don't have to feel like you got to take the lesson and do exactly what he's doing. Like, it's fine if it just sparks a thought process.
Yes.
Right? And then you take and kind of make it your own thing. Like, I think those lessons can be overwhelming if you think, oh, I have to do this and master this like run he's playing. There's always a level. Not always. I mean, there's these freak guys like John Five who can play things that are exact. But for most people, there's this level of like idiosyncratic, like it's just their style. So when they play these things, it's just kind of how they naturally do it. And I don't think you have to sweat that, unless of course you're trying to cover like a specific song and you got to nail it and it's got to be 1000% perfect. But like the Beato lessons, man, the value to me is just. Oh, here's a cool thought process. How can I do that at whatever level you're playing at?
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing that you get if, like here at the shop, you know, we'll all talk about something like that, you know, or we'll like say, oh, I was doing this the other day on guitar and I had this crazy thought. What do you think about this? And you play it, and then you just start conversing about it. It gives me that without having to, you know, like I still obviously have the conversation with people, but I can kind of get that whenever I am like, oh, I want a challenge. So there you go.
There seems to be a thought in the thread here that you just got to play your guitar. I am a very big proponent of like lessons are cool, practice is cool. I mean, you have to do all those things, but just the more there's I don't know if you guys have read that book. The Brad Paisley book, The Diary of a Player. Like, even if you hate Brad Paisley and you hate country, that book is interesting because it talks through a lot of his process of like how he got started, and that's pretty much what he says. The way he got so fast and good was just he just played the guitar every day. He just always had a guitar in his hands, and I think that is pretty.
I mean, I agree with that. I think you gotta just play, like no matter what, you know.
You know. Are we talking about Oddly Freed in the comments? I feel like we are.
Everyone type cuss words.
What?
Boys, I want to know,
Tom,
how's the video quality for everybody this week?
you guys like the video quality more this week? How's it looking? How
More crisp, a little more clear?
do y'all
I
feel about the
know
overall
folks
production?
are still saying that it's a little bit maybe quiet, is what I see.
it up.
But turn it
Turn
up,
it
crank it
up.
up, turn it to 11. Put the amp capo on. But no.
People are
Everyone's
just
putting
typing cuss words.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Good video. Quality is good. A tad bit washed out.
Looks
But good.
good.
Looks good.
That's just us.
Great video quality.
We ourselves are washed out. Sort of how Bigfoot is actually blurry. We are washed out. Washed out, washed up, washed down. That's us. The amp capo. Yeah, I guess you know. The amp capo. What are you gonna do? Yeah, Mayor Cheese says audio is still very low. We'll sort that out. Crank it up. But Ned says as long as we're washed. Mitchell Strauss, the amp capos have been discontinued. Got to find a vintage one from the 70s. That's the only place.
Man,
Can't get a new one.
We should make one of those just to do. That'd be funny. Clamp it down.
Cranking. I like it.
I'm
I
cranking
like it.
something.
The mighty Woodrow and Tom, they've become best friends.
Here we go.
They're hanging. If you hang with Oddly Freed, you have to let me come too. Yeah. If I had an amp cable and reverb, that would be kind of amazing. Kind of amazing.
Audio getting louder.
Wow.
You like that, Chad?
It's because we ran the whole stream through a swollen pickle. With the loudness all the way up.
Good news is I got one guy that fucking whispers, and I got one guy that goes from normal speaking volume to super loud.
You goddamn
It's
right.
because I'm very dynamic, Derek. I'm very dynamic. Very dynamic. I'm gonna be.
I like to speak with my actions. You like that? My stepdad taught me. He said, be a man of few words. Be a man of action.
Whew. There you go. It's good advice. It's good advice. Speaking of actions, I think we got a couple new pedal things to demo. We got the Greer Lightspeed in stock now. Now that we can get, we got some new pedal options coming. I think I plugged it in the other day.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, it's cool. I got the Soma 63 on my board, which is another Greer pedal that we should talk about too.
Maybe we should do some Greer
pretty
pedal.
good.
I wish we had a Greer amp.
Tom.
Oh,
Greer
Tom
amp. What?
blew us away. Here we go. Question. I have a first world amp problem. I'm trying to decide between a Port City Pearl and a Magnatone Super 15. Thoughts? Man.
Those to me live in very different worlds, right? Like I don't know that either one's a bad choice. I mean they're not. They're both cool amps.
I mean, I think it depends on what you're looking for. You know what I mean? But I do think they're slightly different from each other in a big, well, I say slightly, in a big way.
I mean that's Super
think it
15,
depends
right?
on
Like
what
it can
you're
do the real dirty,
looking for.
not real
You know what I
dirty,
mean?
but
Yeah,
like
I do think
the
they're
dirty classic
slightly
rock,
different
like kind
from
of
each other in
martially
a
thing.
big- well, I say
But to
slightly,
me, it's got a
in a big way.
voxy
I mean,
charm.
that's
Super 15, right? Like it can do the real dirty, right? So
Not
it's
real
like a
dirty, but
weird
like
blend
dirty
of
classic
rock,
rock,
like kind of
different
martial and a vox.
But
to
that's
me,
really
it's
good,
got a
right?
like the
Super 15,
if there's any clean tone in there, which there is,
a
weird blend of it's thinner, and I don't necessarily mean thin in a bad way, but it made it really cut. Like and I feel like the Pearl, if there's any clean tone in there, which there is, maybe got the bigger low end kind of thing. You know what I mean? It can be a little more Fendery if you want, and that is not there to me in the Super 15 like at all. You know?
Yeah, that's a great assessment, I think, actually, because
yeah.
Which I mean, and to be honest, like the Super 15, I think is cool if you're looking for some of the undercarriage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's got the headphone out, it's got that attenuator in there and stuff.
Built-in low box. So
All that
like
stuff.
on that one, right? You can unplug the speaker and go straight to the front of house or straight to your recording interface and not worry about having the low box. It's got that built in. So, and that's the only Magnatone that has that. So don't unplug the speaker on any of your other Magnatones because you'll turn the amp on, you'll kill it. But so that's really cool. To me, I guess the it has that. So to me the Super 15 more like does a thing that's really good, but it kind of does that thing. You know what I mean? So that's really cool. To me, I guess it's some of the best like straight in blues tone I've probably ever had.
Yeah.
That's really good. But it kind of does that.
I mean, they're fun.
so that's
I'm not saying I would never get a Super 15.
it's some of the best,
you know?
like,
The
straight
M80 to
in
me
blues
is
tone
it's got a little more oomph to it. You know, I like the M80 a little bit more, but the Super 15 definitely kicks butt. I would never get a Super 15.
I mean, so yeah. So I think with between that and
It's got a little more oomph
the
to
Port
it,
City,
you
man,
know?
it's
I
just
like the M80 a little bit more.
it's just deciding which one of those flavors fits your. If you're playing a ton of pedals, the Port City is probably a better option. Even though the Magnatone has a good effects loop, it just probably is a slightly better amp for that. Now, the hard choice for me would be, at this point, if I was going to get a smaller Magnatone like that, would be the Baby M80 versus the Super 15. Like, those are, that's a hard, that'd be a hard pick, you know?
Yeah,
But yeah.
I can see that because the Baby M80 is, if you're looking for something that's small, I think go Baby M80. If you're looking for something that can do the headphone out and has all those other options to it, go Super 15. And then if you're looking for something that probably has the maximum spectrum of tone, go the big M80.
Or the big M80.
Well, I guess that depends on also spectrum of tone being, do you want to be able to push it and do different things
You
like
gotta
that?
go slash.
Go pearl.
SL100.
There's no other choice. You have no option.
It's the only way to get the tone of your heroes.
All right. Mike Jones says, wireless amp that you can run with and control the speed of the amp from your receiver unit. Well, it's called a cable. I'm sorry, Mike. I just never use that stuff. I just like to make fun of it. Johnny uses it, though, you know.
Wait, you guys about wireless?
Yeah.
I have used it. In a former life, when I was expected to walk on bars and play guitar solos, so that drunk bachelorettes could grab at me. Yeah, it was horrible. But, yeah, I don't know.
Listen, I'll say, too, everybody's like, oh, Sean bringing the heat. I'm a punk ass. That's all it is.
He is.
You know, I got to have the cable.
It's true.
It's like my boys and idols. It's funny they were talking because they get like out in the crowd with their stuff and they'll like walk around the upper deck if they've got one and stuff. And they said, don't you worry about signal loss? He said, it's a 50-foot cable. There's signal loss. He's like, who cares? He's like, that's why I put on another pedal. I was like, oh, that's sick.
I mean, is it Buddy Guy who used to have the 100-foot cable and he'd start playing out the back door and then walk in? I mean, like,
that's dope.
You know, maybe that's why he runs all his everything on like 10. But you know, what are you gonna do? Let's see. Someone said, Johnny went wireless at Coyote Ugly.
Yeah, he did.
Pretty much. Hey, you gotta pay the bills. Gotta put food on the table. Somebody said how different was the Baby M80 and the Super 15. They're not like in different universes, but they're different to me. Like again,
I got you.
Go ahead.
You ready?
I'm ready.
You know how there's the Spider-Man meme and all the Spider-Mans are pointing at each other, but then they did the one from like the movies? It's kind of like that. Like one of them's Tobey Maguire, one of them's the other dude, and then one of them's the new guy.
No, I mean it's the Super 15 is boxier, so like it's a sharper, like a chimier, but then when it gets aggressive, like it's a little more biting in a way. That's all.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Somebody asked if I could play Ramble On. I have been learning a lot of Led Zeppelin lately because I was like, man, I need some boogie in my life. So I've been getting down on that.
There's talk about whether we would do a signature amp with some of our friends who are amp manufacturers. I won't say that we would never do that.
I don't think,
It's a possibility.
I think it's got to be the right thing at the right time.
Yep.
And it's got to hit, I think it's got to hit all of us just in the right way. You know what I mean?
It has to make sense, right? Like, yeah, it just has to make sense for something that we're
Wait. Somebody said Idols did that at Warfield SF. Rocked it. Yes, they did, of course. I'm going to go see them in September, so I'm pumped, dude. I'm ready. Dude. Oh, talk about real rock and roll, man. They kill it.
Chad B wants to pre-order the CG amp. Just send us your money. It's fine.
You'll get it. We'll let you know when it comes in.
Homegrown Son says a casino-branded car Rambler. I mean, hey. I feel like we should be able to do the Raleigh, but like turn it into like the Sopai or something weird. That's dumb. Never mind.
I think we should come
I'll
up.
see myself out.
Here's what's better than a casino amp. We should come up with a rooster amp, but it's called the Little LA. Because the running joke in downtown Aberdeen is we live in Little LA.
Lower Aberdeen.
Lower Aberdeen, baby.
Adam says the Marley guy is cool. Anthony is super cool, and I've been playing that Marley amp like all week, dude, and still still just inspired by it. I hope he keeps like not being able to come pick it up because it's a lot of fun.
I was messaging that curly-headed mullet boy this morning, dude. It's a great amp. He's awesome. He's in a class right now.
He does have a great mullet.
He tunes into all the live streams. He just hasn't been able to this week because the next couple of weeks, I think he said he's in a class or something like that.
Yep.
That's a handsome little boy, though. I told him, I was like, woo. Apparently it's for foot modeling, I think is what he said. Male foot modeling. So just let him know. If you message him or you reach out to him, go to his Instagram page, follow him for one, Marley Amps, and comment.
That's right.
I hope the foot modeling career is going good. Can't wait to see what you're coming up with next.
Tell him we sent you. There's some actual great, thoughts for casino branded amps here. I'm gonna grab this guitar because someone asked.
The Neon Rooster presents the Big Cock.
This is Derek's guitar, and it's pretty friggin' awesome. To be fair,
She flamey.
It's always backwards on there. Gretsch Rancher. Ta-da!
It's pretty lovely. It's got the right amount of wear too.
I mean, it's just really cool. I mean, is it like the craziest like toned acoustic you've ever heard?
Yes.
It is. It actually is the best. No, but it's just kind of perfect, man, and it's got so much like mojo. And it's almost in tune. But just, you know, kind of got that Gibson thuddy thing going.
Looks great though. Jeez. I mean, that like orange is hard to not love, man.
Derek, what pickup is in it?
There's no pickup in it.
Oh, okay.
There used to be like a crazy pickup in there at one point, but
Yeah, I can see
sound pickup.
on the top.
was gonna
can
say.
see where the holes were for the volume knobs.
I feel like I want just a weird, like one of the little magnetic, you know, sound on pickup things, and then make this just a stage guitar.
Yeah.
That would be actually cool, Derek. That's what you should play all the time. I mean, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, I like it.
That guitar is called a
5%.
Gretsch Rancher, by the way.
The Rancher, I mean, it is cool, and it's got that sort of like orangey Gretsch thing going.
It is. And whoever did the control knob replacement in there, they got like the paint match perfect.
I mean, it's hard to
kinda
even
crazy.
tell that they were there. You know
I know,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
I just now noticed that. I've seen
really
this
good.
guitar for 6 years, and I just now saw that.
actually, when I was at Jack's in Kansas City, or Shawnee, really, Kansas, he's got a newer, like the Falcon acoustic. You know what I mean? You seen those things?
Yep.
And they're not expensive guitars. But man, I was pretty impressed with that.
Was it a cutaway one? You have the cutaway? Probably a cutaway.
I can't remember if it had a cutaway or not. I believe it did. But you know, big body like that, kind of similar pick guard, but it's had the Falcon headstock. They're like $700 or $800 guitars, but I mean, it was pretty darn cool.
Like that one is anywhere from like $4,000 to $10,000
Yeah.
online if you wanted to get one in like even better shape than that.
I mean, it is cool, and they're fun because you don't see as many, right? It's not like old Gibsons and old Martins, you know. I mean, they can be up there
The
astronomically
cooler
too.
ones had the G brand
Yeah.
the
logo
stamp.
on it. And the even earlier ones had a G brand and the Western.
And
Yeah, the Western.
With the arrows and the gun and the horse and all that
did they
stuff.
do any of the acoustics with the leather wrap on the sides? Now that would be
Just a Gretsch roundup.
right. That would be cool though, right?
That'd be cool.
That'd be super cool. You know, but hey.
Man, oh man.
I have been on a Penguin Duo Jet kick lately, where I just like look at them online and list after the different models. There is a Duo Jet Players Edition that is the same color as my Falcon. It's Midnight Sapphire. Woo. Man, it's sexy.
I like when I'm here.
It's sexy. But now speaking of cool guitars, we just got this guitar in.
Dum 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 dum.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. And I think that this is sexy. Something about a friggin'
Wow.
double bound telly.
She's hot.
You know, it's got the roasted neck.
She's spicy, baby.
I'm thinking this might be our lesson guitar for the day, Derek.
Yeah.
We'll do our lesson on this one.
I think it's pretty mean, man.
But no, it's a good one. And it's, you know, it's so funny because I like thicker necks, right? This is not a thick neck. This is probably an oval C, right? That's what it feels like to me.
I think it's an oval C.
Yeah, but
Punch in the specs. I'm pretty sure it's oval C, yeah.
it feels and plays good. It's thinner than I would think that I like. It's just funny how when you start playing these great guitars, you start to realize that sort of all the necks, when they're done well, are good, you know? Because someone asked earlier, like, what's the best neck profile, before we even went live, for playing thumb over, that like they had a 9.5, and I forgot what profile. It was hurting their hand.
I think it was like a slim, super slim C.
Slim C or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, for that, you might want to go. It just depends. I mean, it's so hard to say, like, what the best neck profile is, because it might be absolutely the opposite of what you think it should be, or what it logically should be. I mean, really, honestly, the best answer to that question is to go somewhere that has a bunch of different neck profiles and just play as many as you can get your hands on. I mean, you go on the internet and they'll be like, well, for thumb over, you know, you gotta have blah blah blah, and that's
Gotta be that.
That's kind of BS. I mean, because
Yeah.
for every answer like that, you can find someone who's a great player who says, well, you know, what I really love and what's the most comfortable for me is this opposite thing. So, you know, I just think you got to go try them. Got to go play them.
Johnny, you want to say where that guitar came from? Why that's special? It's the dealer event guitar?
It was a dealer event guitar. So this was the newest, and there is a dealer event video that Baxter always does that I believe is up, and we won this one. So
And we won 2 other Jaguars.
there's 2 Jaguars that I'm sure, are they up yet on the line?
One of them is the pink one and the
There's a
Inca
shell pink one that's
silver.
really cool. I haven't even seen the Inca Silver. What's cool about that event, man, is that event just happened the other day. If you win those guitars, like the actual one on the event, they get them to you very quickly. So if you're looking for a good Telly sort of custom double bound, especially with the humbucker, I haven't even seen the Inca Silver. What's cool about that event, man, is that event. And I really like the black pickguard. You know, usually this would be like a cream or a mint green pickguard or something. They get them to you.
Shell pink up there.
So.
And that
if you're
is
looking for a
true
good
to
Telly,
color. It is
so
very
custom
fleshy
double bound.
looking.
It is,
but it looks good.
It's almost a peach. What's cool about that event, man, is that and I really like the black pickguard. You know, usually this would be like.
They say it trips out whenever we go to the screen and screen.
That it starts doubling,
Yeah.
like it starts doing crazy echoes. Hello.
Alex
hello,
Holden
hello.
would like to see the Cabolo Tono one as well.
Oh, yeah.
Now that one is next door. I would grab it for you, but it is all the way over there.
Dude, I'll
But
send
it
you.
looks
I'll
sick.
send you some. I'll shoot you that one on Instagram. I'll show it to you.
Not if I show it to you first.
Lies. I like that there's a screen share echo. It's sort of like hitting the delay pedal.
Which to like really get them in this space of like, whoa, man, we're showing them something crazy, you know?
Yeah, that's got to be some turn on. We'll sort it. We've been using StreamYard, and this is something different. So, you know.
Tom Beatty says, your picture-in-picture as the audio turned on. Go to settings and turn it off. I feel like Derek will source it either way, and he'll figure it out. I feel like it might be a little more complex than that. He's pretty good about it.
He's pretty good about it. He's generally pretty good. Yeah, he is. Somebody said, what was that? Oh, the best guitar to use as a weapon against zombies. I mean, the Telly's got to be up there, right? Assuming you want to still use it as a functional guitar after.
I got a better one.
It's probably a better one.
The Jackson Roswell.
Because it's metal.
It's metal, and one side of it is literally a weapon.
What's the old Gene Simmons bass that looks like an axe?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good too.
If you could actually sharpen the axe.
That'd be
you know,
medieval, you know? And like,
or like, you know, what are those dumb guitars you see that pop up on Facebook and Instagram all the time? They're like shaped like Texas.
you know, yeah.
Because then when you
Yeah.
swing it, you have like blunt parts down here, you know, to really,
Then you can
really
also-
bash those brains out.
You can also like just have the imagery of beating the hell out of somebody with Texas.
With Texas.
That's pretty awesome.
Which is also good.
The Machine Gun Kelly guitar, yep. With
Listen.
the razor blade.
Again, just a huge friggin' blunt object, like blunt corners, and there's some weight to it.
You know, I have this reoccurring dream and it just happened again last night, funny enough, where there is like a zombie apocalypse going on. We're gonna like depart from guitar stuff for a second.
And that's okay.
It's weird because it's like, it's not like they're zombies, it's just like they're like people, like, and at nighttime, that's whenever they like try and come and get you, but they're just like kind of running around the house, like banging on, and then always this one, it's a small child, it's this girl comes into the house, and like she's like trying to get you, and like,
This is a child zombie.
yes, and it's like up to me
Which
to,
is terrifying.
it is, yeah, because they're like
It's terrifying.
faster somehow, and also like a little bit like scrappier, so every time she gets into the house, and most times I'm able to kill her, and this time it was like a true fight. I was like, whoa. You know, and I was like, and I always have the same weird looking knife that's got like these 2 pronged ends on it, and I'm like, how, you know, like I was like.
Do you have this dream? So you have this dream.
Oh yeah, like
recurring.
it's like the same. It's been the same for the last few years. It's not like every time I go to sleep, but I just know it that vividly well. And like the house is not one I've ever been in. It's a strange house.
I want to know how many people in the comments have ever had like a reoccurring dream like that. Derek, have you ever had one?
Yeah, I have all sorts of reoccurring dreams.
I had one when I was a kid that happened like
I always have
pretty
one
regular.
where I'm still in the army and I'm missing parts of my uniform.
Oh, and you're like
I'm at
freaking
work.
out. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's funny. That's a funny like wake up panic dream. Like, oh shit.
Or I'm naked, no pants on.
You're like, damn it, I'm not ready for this. That's great. What's
So
Johnny got?
Derek's naked. Sean has zombies.
Yes.
When I was a kid, right, we lived in this house that it started off as just a little cinder block square.
Yeah.
And my dad added like a hallway, right? And like a whole another little section, right? Took forever, right? But so you'd walk down this hallway to get to where my like bedroom, my sister's room was.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, for whatever reason I had this dream, it would start off sort of like down this hallway, but it would stretch out longer. You know what I
And
mean?
just keep stretching.
And then it would always end in this place. We used to go swim into this like really weird little like lake place that was kind of sketchy. I think twice about it now. But they had the little concrete walls, but with where you could see through it.
Yeah.
Like vented, you know, but it was like a weird little circle-y little pattern. I can see it, I just can't for whatever, I don't know how you describe it. But I would be there, I'd be at this table, and then all of a sudden I would know that I was alone and someone was like, this thing would be after me. And then it would always end up in that long dark hallway with the thing, and like, you know, by the time it would finally get me, and it was like, it was pretty freaky. But I would just have it every so often. Same dream.
Then you'd pull the hood back on this monster, and it was
It
yourself.
was me.
You're like
Those old Scooby-Doo episodes. That's the only recurring one I've ever had, though. But it was pretty much always the same.
I've had a few like just reoccurrent ones throughout my life. You know, you have those dreams where it feels like really real. I always had this dream as a kid, and I still have it every once in a while, where I'm like running through a field, and I run into a piece of farm equipment, and it's like I can't think of what it's called, but basically I shove a spike through my right leg every time, and it always wakes me up. I'm like, whoa, shit.
Ow.
I don't know, it's weird. Like
Also a weird reoccurring dream.
Yeah. Oh, here's something in that zombie dream. Like I said, they're not like zombies. The girl always has like an ice pick or like some kind of other knife, or like she takes something from somebody else. And like this time, last night, she got me. She stabbed me in the gut. And like I got her, but I was like,
But she got you.
yeah, I was like,
first.
shit. And I was like, there's no doctors, there's no surgeons.
I'm dead.
I'm effed.
I'm dead.
And then I woke up at 6:49. I was like, oh,
Todd says he dreams about UFOs and planes fighting. I mean,
that's
you know,
cool.
It's okay. It's all coming. It's like I've been watching that. I just watched that season of the 3 Body Problem on Netflix, where the aliens are coming and they know, which might actually be horrible. But anyways, Tom Bates is trained. Everybody drink. That's fair. That is fair. But you know,
I mean, hey,
you never
Todd Roy
know.
redacted his message.
It's too spicy for Casino Live stream. Too much spiciness. Derek, is there any other good? I feel like music news has been slow lately, a little bit. Everybody's been sort of up in arms about this whole, Fender selling used guitars. That's been a thing on Reverb. Todd says it cannot get too spicy at Casino. That's true. This is true. Okay, Andrew Townley says, it wasn't a recurring dream, but I once dreamt that I was auditioning in guitar for a band called DeLuca. And they were like, thank you, that'll be enough, in their British accents. Okay, that's really funny. I had this nightmare one time about a headless guitar, like with no headstock. And it was like, I forgot. I remember thinking, I've been talking about it.
Jonathan runs from Strandbergs in his dreams.
Yes.
Like, no!
Yes. For whatever reason, I'm on stage, right? And this is years ago too. I mean, I was probably in my late 20s, but I'm on stage and I'm playing this headless guitar, right? And there's no headstock, and I look down, and I'm sort of like filled with disgust immediately. You know, like, ugh.
You go to tune and you're like, what?
Well, no, I'd go to play like this, you know, I'm playing, and then all of a sudden my hand goes flying off the end. It was like my hand couldn't stay on the neck, as if like the headstock makes your hand stay on the neck. So every time I'd go to, and I knew I should be playing, and I should be playing like
That's hilarious.
my part, and I'd be like, oh yeah, and it would just, my hand would just keep flying off, and
That's amazing.
It's very comical, but in the dream, it was very distressing. It was very distressing,
man. Okay, we got a couple of questions here. So this has a 9.5-inch radius on it, Todd. Oasis did get back together and praise the Lord. We, for the most part, I think you're an Oasis fan too. But
I like Oasis a lot.
I think, yeah, we're all. I know, at least for me, Baxter and Derek, we're all Oasis fans from past lives. Even like I was an Oasis fan in high school.
I mean, Baxter's what I'd call like the super fan.
Oh, he's the
but
super
fan.
fan.
You know, I've always really enjoyed. I probably more just really kind of dig like, well,
British stuff.
I think the "Don't Look Back in Anger" is an awesome song. Yeah,
Dude,
but I mean, it's all cool. All that stuff I was into.
The first 4 albums basically, and then the last one that they did in like 2008. I like all those.
There's just something about like there's a vibe and a style that they get in the guitar tones, like right for those just big open kind of chorus things that
I
are
just love it.
are just cool. And I think they probably have a lot more influence on people than most people would even realize, probably, right? Because you hear that stuff.
Well, and in America too, I think they get kind of slammed with being a one-hit wonder, and it's like, no. Like, the world over, they were insanely huge. Like, massive.
Well, around the like early 2000s, I had opportunity a lot consistently to spend time in the UK, and
it's like,
it was just like we'd kind of forgotten about them almost, and then you know you go over there and it's like friggin' billboards. It's
biggest
them
band
and
in the world.
The other band that only did the Bittersweet Symphony song. Who was that?
Oh, the Verve.
Like they were. I'm like, man, they're huge.
Well, Richard Ashcroft is like literally a living legend over there. Like, you say Richard Ashcroft and it follows, like, you know.
Well, you know, and we I will say us Americans sometimes are bad because our country's huge and it's like all this stuff, and we kind of think we're the middle center everything of the universe. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying we're not.
Well,
we just know it. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like that crack
you know.
America thing, you know, that those bands always had to deal with, and I feel like Oasis got to the point where they were like, we don't care. Like, who cares? Maybe we don't ever do that. And I don't think they ever needed to because, dude, they got 20 dates for next year, and I think they're about to sell every single one of them.
Oh, dude, 1000%.
God.
They will. I mean,
I think they could play like the O2 Arena or Wembley for like 10 to 20 days in a row and sell it out.
And probably sell it out. Well, because people have just been waiting, and I think there's this weird like undercurrent of, will they actually get through all the shows, or are they gonna like start to argue and hate each other and fight?
I think Liam has. So here's what I think has actually happened. I think they're one of the few groups that are like true rock and roll, real. Like, those guys didn't talk for 10 years, 15 years. You know what I mean? And with that too, I think Noel probably has a respect for Liam to some degree, even though he's probably he's talked a lot of shit in the public eye.
And they're brothers.
I think he probably has more of a respect for him going out and doing his own thing and actually like, because there was a moment where they both were coming out with an album. I think it was Liam's first solo record, and they were like, oh, is it gonna knock the High Flying Birds off for number one? It was coming out the same week, and it did. And I think he was probably like, well, shit, you know. That first record that Liam came out with was a smash hit, dude. Go listen to Wall of Glass and tell me you're not like, damn, that's rocking. Wall of Glass rips. That's a killer track, and a lot of the other songs on there rip.
So yeah,
I think it can kill it.
Asked about the Gibson, the new 2 Gibson acoustics from the Cash family. Johnny
Oh, yeah,
Cash and the Roseanne Cash.
hey, okay. So one of our good friends, you all would know him if I mentioned his name. He's a regular. He might be.
Oh, you talking about our buddy Mark Ignacy?
Mark.
Our
pal
very
Mark.
good friend Mark. My brother in arms.
One day when Mark's calling, like when he's always talking about taking his kids to see like Uncle Slash and junk, and I'm like, one day it's gonna be Uncle Johnny and Uncle Sean. You know?
I can't wait for him to message me.
Uncle Johnny and Aunt Sean.
Whatever
Oh
it takes.
my God. Flip.
Whatever it takes.
There you go. We got the reaction.
Now I forgot. Oh. So anyways,
How
our friend
dare
messaged
you.
me about those 2 guitars.
Thanks, Sean. That's surrender. Surrender, you're great. Sorry, go ahead.
Anyways, there's quite the price discrepancy between the two, between the Johnny Cash and the Roseanne Cash. What do we think about that?
Well, what's the price discrepancy?
It's like $10,000. One's like 59, if I'm not mistaken. The other,
listen.
pull them up. Let's see.
Jonald,
There on the screen.
No.
I'm not saying that Jonald Cash has, a better catalog or anything.
You
Just
shut your
saying.
mouth, you misogynist piece of trash.
It's kind of like, if you own something that's really old and it acquires more money because it's rare, maybe it's like that. I don't know. You tell me. What is up with that pick guard? That pick guard is badass is what is up with it, dude. That thing looks sick.
Well, that's the thing. You're going to either love that or hate that. I do not
Love it.
enjoy that.
I love that, dude. That is sick.
I'm like,
Whoa. It's
I
why
could do without it.
That's something I love about a Rickenbacker is the
one
big
they
pick
only
guard.
did 100 of. So there's only 100 of the Johnny Cash.
Okay.
It's like
The Roseanne Cash is like
yeah, and come on, we're talking about dad versus daughter.
This is true. You and I actually spent
We
spent some
spent
time with old
time.
Roseanne Cash.
We did.
A whole week. And she was cool. You know?
It's the same. Y'all had to get that separation from her.
It's true. That's true. What are you going to do? It was fun hearing, I don't know if you guys watch Ask Zach in the True Tone Lounge. There was a True Tone Lounge episode on Ask Zach with Sean's favorite guitar player, Vince Gill.
I would never.
Sean hates Vince Gill almost as much as he hates Eric Clapton. Do with that what you will.
Hate's a strong word. It's
loathes.
yeah, there you go.
Despises.
That's better. It's just like
He's beneath him.
it's like you hear something and it's like, okay, we're gonna sing somebody's praises. Well, let's sing them for a good reason. Okay, I'm not hearing much of a good reason.
Anyways,
I love Gary Moore.
as I was saying,
I love Gary Moore.
part of that interview, they're talking about his early life and career, obviously, and he's talking about playing for Roseanne Cash and how Rodney Krause, who hooked him up with that gig, Derek.
Yeah.
And it was just neat because I felt like we were immersed in that for a bit because Derek and I did this songwriting thing with them. We were essentially buddies. Now we paid to be buddies, but hey.
Roseanne Barr has
Derek
bigger
paid to
balls
be
than
buddies
me.
and drug me along, which was not very kind of him. We bought some friends, some very important friends.
Thomas White gets it. He said Sean dropping knowledge this morning, dude.
Dropping
It's not
knowledge.
that I hate cream either. I just think there's a little overpraise for somebody who.
No respect.
Oh,
Zero respect. Hey, listen. Someone had to do it first. Someone had to be the man. Someone had to be
You're right.
the dude in the beginning.
you know who it was? Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry was the dude.
If that's what you're into. No,
If
Chuck
that's
Berry's
what
great.
you're into, I
Chuck
like that.
Berry's fine. I just think Clapton definitely made a mark there.
Roseanne Barr does have bigger everything than Sean. I would also love to meet Roseanne Barr.
If Roseanne is listening and you want to come on the casino live stream,
Dude, she's funny as hell, dude. She's like,
some would say offensive, but I would agree, funny as hell.
we're talking about the right Roseanne, right? We're talking about like old Roseanne from Roseanne,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love her on Kill Tony. Go watch the Kill Tony episodes where she gets on there and she does that stuff.
I love her. She's fun. She's
I'm
good.
taking the wife to San Diego to see Clapton and she doesn't want to go. I should leave her at Sean's place. You know what you should do?
You send her here. She can hang out with Sean, and I'll go with you to see Clapton.
You should take her
Easy.
to see Sturgill Simpson, a real artist. Excuse me? Have you heard the Johnny Blue Skies record?
I have.
Have you heard Passage du Desire?
It is good, and I am a
really good,
Sturgill.
man.
Not to say that I'm not a Sturgill fan. I am a Sturgill fan. Is there a big enough difference between a Jaguar and a Jazzmaster to have both? Yes. Yes, there is. Pickups are way different, in my opinion, and the scale length's way different, right? One's 25.5, one's 24, so you definitely get a different attack and feel and vibe and tone with the old thingamajigger. Who gave us $10?
The Sean Haters Club. Tom did. Membership denied. Tom, you love me too much for me to believe that. There it is.
No.
Look, finally.
The no glasses. I'm gonna wear these the rest of the. No, I'm not actually, but every time.
You get Mississippi Queen for every time you put those on. That's great.
These showed up at my house from Amazon. I have no idea where they came from or who ordered them, but Amazon didn't care, so they're mine now. The no glasses.
Also, Surrender is correct. He said, I would argue that Roseanne's muff isn't bigger than Sean's. Straight up, dog. I got the biggest muff in town.
He's got the biggest. Old school. Old school.
I like this. Upside, they're on. So if you flip them, they would be on. It's
Turn
on.
me on, baby. I'm on. It's true. It's a good observation. You're on it, or no. Jonathan, are you losing weight while you're looking like Baxter? I mean, I'm pretty sure I could fit Baxter into one of my legs. Like, I think I could squish Baxter down and put him in my leg. But no, I don't think I am losing weight, actually.
That's true.
I'm just wearing this nice, slimming black T-shirt today.
We, I've been doing some push-ups. I've been trying to get back into shape.
That's what I need to start doing. I need to start lifting the old weights a little bit, bulking up for the apocalypse, so that those little child zombies don't kill me like they kill Sean in his dream.
I've decided I'm gonna start going down to the boat shop and working on Fridays.
That's what I do on Fridays.
Yeah, I'm
Not
like,
at the
I
boat
need
shop. Go to the farm. The old farm workout plan. It keeps me moving.
I miss my old people.
I gotta start stretching. Stretching is good.
As old Ronnie Rambo would say, those old fuckers. I miss those old fuckers.
Something nice about having a little bit of manual labor every now and again.
Feels good.
You know,
I feel like it's how we connect too.
it is. That's good.
All right, boys.
So, who's buying the who's ordering the Roseanne Cash guitar?
Well, I'm ordering the Roseanne bar to go.
The Roseanne Barr. Same thing. It'd be funny if they were the same person. I wish Roseanne Barr was Johnny Cash's daughter. That would be awesome.
That'd be pretty dope.
That would be pretty good.
Next week, we're giving away the Mustang Micros for the road to 100,000. So get ready for that. Get excited.
No.
And then we're gonna announce our next giveaway too, and it'll be something a little more fun than that. I'll say that's all I can share.
Baxter's old sneakers.
It's a pair of Baxter's old sneakers. You've heard it here first. Derek
Not
gave me the authority.
deodorized. There's still fresh Baxter scent in there. Was who asked about? Tom said I'd always wanted to ask about the tattoo on Jonathan's arm,
Which one?
the right arm. That says, or it says.
It says.
How'd you know, Hoss? You can stand me up at the gates of hell, and I won't back down. That's what it is.
Look at that.
That's what it is. Tom, that's it.
That's not bad, huh? Not bad, eh?
I once spent a whole evening with a pretty intoxicated member of Love and Theft who had quit the band, who was a good friend of mine, and because that band, I don't know if you guys even know who that country band is, but they had a few hits, and then they were a trio originally, and then they were a duo once they got big, and he quit before, but had some cool rock bands in Nashville. But we were out in Nashville drinking Bushwhackers, and he spent all night. He's like, I can read it. Don't tell me. And then obviously he can't read it because there's no lines, but it was pretty entertaining. But that's what it is.
See,
that's the old.
I got destroyed the last time we went out to Nashville. So I need to go back well rested so that I can actually bushwhacker it up. Because I tried to drink that bushwhacker on top of everything else, and I was dead that day. I was like, ugh.
If you've not had a bushwhacker in Nashville, it's basically an alcoholic milkshake for adults. You know?
It was delicious. It was just so thick, and I was so already beat. I was like, damn, man. I hated it. It was great. It was delicious.
Okay. Fred says, how do you feel about people bringing Mustang Micros into the shop so people can test guitars?
Yeah, that's fine with me. That's what you
we
need to
have
do.
like lots of amps.
I know. I was gonna say.
But yeah, if you want to test guitars with your Mustang Micro,
We do picklebacks here, and I like a pickleback shot.
Picklebacks, nickelbacks, swollen picklebacks, everything.
It's not like you to say sorry.
It's all the mudslide.
That's what happens after you have the bushwhacker.
I feel like picklebacks were like they were like a thing for a while. Everybody was doing the the pickle juice thing, but I feel like it's kind of like
Kind of died out a
played
bit.
out a bit.
Yeah. I feel like green tea shots are taking over. Dude, I had like 15 green tea shots in a night on top of a bunch of Michelob Ultras. Shit was dope.
I mean, you should probably just be a man and drink straight whiskey, but whatever. Whatever you guys want to do.
Listen.
Whatever frou-frou stuff you want to put in there.
You got to party. You got to party sometimes.
I almost brought us I
Let your hair down.
got a bottle of that the old-fashioned flavored whiskey from Two Trees from a friend John. I almost brought it. I was like, oh, just drink old fashions on the live stream. But I was like, it is 10 o'clock in the morning.
We gotta. We need to have a drinking session at some point. Well, hopefully we're gonna do one of these live streams later on, towards the evening time at some point, and we'll get. You'll get to see me get sloppy toppy.
Our last really good one was when we did. I was thinking about it because I was telling Elijah we shot a very long video yesterday. It'll be coming out soon. And my son was asking me what's the longest one we ever did, and I was like, it's got to be our 250. We went through all 250 top guitars from Rolling Stone, and you guys, because you're mean people, started paying us to drink. No, actually, that was really fun. We should do something like that again. I don't know what the topic would be. We just all sit around the table, break out the bourbon,
dude. Don't tempt me with
and have at it. And just have at it.
That's right. We will. We shall. You drank scotch in the morning a few weeks ago. I did, Alex. There wasn't much scotch in that bottle, though. Baxter kind of set me up for failure. He was like, here, drink this. This will be great. It's like, okay, thanks. It was very kind of him.
And why would we stay away from moonshine?
Dude, we, live on moonshine, dude. Growing up,
it's North Carolina.
I'm not going to say who in my family had this, but you can probably take a wild guess. He had a case of moonshine at all times underneath our pool table. So it's just omnipresent.
I mean, that was always the fun thing, like some of the gigs I used to do where we'd travel and we'd go out to middle of nowhere and play these little festivals. And there'd always be somebody showing up with apple pie, moonshine, or some really good stuff. And
this will put some hair on your chest. Wet your whistle with this.
There you go. There you go. All right. Is that it, boys? Anything else pressing?
I think we're ready.
That's it. Sean already told you the stuff, the 100K. As always, hit like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. Go order some guitars. Or don't.
That's right.
When is the giveaway for the micros? Is it next week?
Yeah, we'll do it next week. Next week.
Cool.
We were going to do it this week. We'll do it next week, though. It'll be fine.
Next week, and then we'll, so that'll actually, technically that'll be into September, so really it'll probably be 2 in September. We'll double up.
Next week.
But yeah, so who knows? You might win a Mustang micro. Thank you guys as always, and we shall see you next time.
Boom.